extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 47 years ago, stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. I am Craig L. Hayes, and it's the 27th of March, 2025. And we're here recording this show episode from, I'm going to call it the Northern Command Center here in Enterprise, Utah. And glad to be here. Today's topic is going to be, or this episode's topic, is going to be cults. We need to talk about cults. We need to talk about what cults are, what we perceive them to be, and what they truly are. Growing up as I did, a lot of times you would hear cults, and you would think of the Reverend Jim Jones and his followers of, I can't even remember the name of his followers, his temple, People's Temple or something like that, and how hundreds of them went and they drank flavored drink with arsenic in, and they all died because he was in a cult. He was a leader of a religious cult. But there's other type of cults. There's many more kind of cults. Cults, and we have to be careful how we use it, because a lot of people think, especially if they are atheist or agnostic, that all religions are cults. No, they're not. All religions are not cults. There are some that are bastardized. They're switched around to use the philosophies of men mixed with scripture in order to take and manipulate people. Those are cults. The true gospel of Jesus Christ, if it's being followed, cannot be a cult. A religion who only has 2 commandments. Now remember, there's only 2 commandments within the Christian religion. Love God with all your heart, might, mind, and strength, and love your fellow man as you would have them love you. Those are the 2 commandments. Yeah, we have the 10 commandments. We have all these other rules and stuff like that we've heard. But those 2 commandments summarize and encapsulate the entire gospel of Jesus Christ. And if you're following that and you're preaching that and you're teaching that, you're showing your followers and you're leading by example and doing those things as you should, then it's impossible to have a cult if the things that you're doing and following exactly those 2 commandments. Now, can religions be cults? Yeah. I don't particularly care for one in particular religion. And I'm not even going to name what it is, because I look at it as being a cult. And I'll say what it is. It's Islam. Islam to me is less of a religion than it is a cult. If that offends people, if that upsets them, if that makes them annoyed, so be it. It's my right and freedom to say these things as an American. If you are offended, that's your problem. Any religion that teaches you that you have to kill somebody else that doesn't believe, that's not a religion, it's a cult. Buddhists don't believe that people should be killed if they don't believe in Buddha. Hindus don't believe you should be killed if you don't believe in their 1,000+ gods or deities or whatever you want to call all the animals in that. Hindus, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, definitely not. They don't believe that you should die if you don't believe in their religion. Only one religion believes that if you don't believe in their God, the way their church teaches, the way they are brought up, that it's perfectly okay to take your life. That is not a religion, that is a cult. So we got the big one right out of the way, but let's go on to some other ones. How about people who believe that creation is impossible and the only logical explanation for the worlds that we see out there? James Webb, your telescope is amazing. Some of the stuff that's out there is mind-blowing. Hubble, you're awesome. You two telescopes are just showing us some things that we had no idea could be out there. But anyhow, people who believe that the only way that we can take and be what we are today is evolution. And would it surprise you that so many people believe in that, but as of today, in the 21st century, there's not one stitch of evidence that there is any evolution. We have not witnessed any evolution in the, almost couple hundred years or so that we've been hearing Darwin's theory on evolution, basically. We have not witnessed any evolution. There's been no scientific data to back up the belief of evolution, and yet it's taught like it's an absolute. If you believe it's an absolute, then you're in a cult. Yeah, but Craig, do you believe in evolution? Not really. I believe that we can evolve as people into better people. I believe that animals can grow thicker hair if they're in colder environments. I believe that nature sees a way for animals to adapt to their environment. That's not evolution, that's adaptation. That's adapting to something that's being hurled on them immediately. Evolution would show that we can see every step of the way that something has evolved. Let's just look at this real quick. If you truly believe in evolution, then tell me this. If you were a fish at the bottom of the sea, you had no vision because it's not needed, everything's just dark. And then you decided, I don't like where I'm living. I'm going to go live up in the higher waters to where there's light. Well, how would you even know there's light? How would you involve eyes to use so you could be a better hunter and secure food? How would you know those things? You don't. You can't. You won't. No creature today passes on its evolution to the next generation. The deers that we see out in the wilderness are the same deers that we've seen for how many thousands of years on this world. They haven't changed. Birds in the air. Have they changed at all in the last several thousand years? Not one stitch of evidence is out there showing proving that evolution is true. Point number 2 on that, and we're not going to spend all the time on this, but there's other things. Point number 2. Science, these guys that say the science is settled, evolution is the only logical method by which we were created or evolved and turned into what we are. They say we came from a single cell creature or organism somehow in the oceans. Interesting theory. Totally lacks any evidence, totally lacks any ability to justify it, because let's look at it real quick for what it is. Have we seen any evidence that there are 2-cell creatures, 10-cell creatures, 100-cell creatures, 10,000-cell creatures, 10 million cell creatures? No. They want us to believe that somehow we jumped, not knowing what we're doing, not knowing how it's supposed to be, not knowing anything, that we jumped right from a single cell creature in the ocean to this trillions of cells in our bodies today, or in animals, and everything just started changing, magically changing into elephants and tigers and lions and bears and oh my. There's no proof. But yet, they believe it with every ounce of their body, and anyone who doesn't believe it is thought of being an idiot. You, if you're one of those people, you're in a cult. You have no science backing you up, even though you claim to be scientists. What else can we do? Oh, how about climate change? Climate change is a really, really good one. People who believe in climate change, they think that man is destroying the world because carbon dioxide is being pumped into the atmosphere. The world's going to end. Well, let me tell you right now, it's very, very, very simple. That's a lie. It's never been true. The history of the ice records, the fossil records, everything proves that we're living in a fairly low period of carbon dioxide being in the atmosphere. We live in a time where we have about 400 parts per million in the atmosphere of carbon dioxide. To get that down to a number you can understand, look at it this way. Go to a concert arena and it seats 10,000 people. 10,000 people. That's a lot of people. 10,000. Now, how much of that arena, how many seats in that arena are going to be carbon dioxide? Let me tell you really quick, just to make it super simple for all you people who believe in this garbage. It's not science, it's garbage. That's 4 seats out of 10,000 are carbon dioxide. Would it surprise you to know that some of the greatest periods of time in the history of this earth, the carbon dioxide levels were between 800 and 1,200 parts per million, meaning that there would have been 8 to 12. 8 to 12 seats would have been carbon dioxide in a 10,000 seat arena. A quick note here. It happened during the reign of one of the Caesars when actually, who was it? Hadrian? Can't remember. I think it might have been Hadrian. Anyways, one of them had conquered England. Did you know they were at that time period, because the carbon dioxide had gone over 800, they were growing oranges in northern England. You can't grow oranges anywhere in England today. rain was more abundant, growth was more abundant, the greening of the earth was more abundant, crops were plentiful, the people prospered. That's the science. That's the truth. So now if you want to take and believe the pseudoscience, garbage science, junk science, crap science that they push on our kids, on us, as being something we need to take and destroy the Western way of life in order to keep carbon dioxide levels low, you're in a cult. So there's another cult. How about ideologies? Belief systems, as far as political systems. If you believe in the teachings of Karl Marx in any way, shape, or form, and believe that government is God, that everything and all people belong to the state, the government, the country, whatever you want to call it, and there are no gods except for the government, and the Bible of them is the writings of Karl Marx, you're in a cult. You may call yourself a socialist. You may call yourself a democratic socialist. You may call yourself a progressive. You may call yourself a liberal. You may call yourself a Marxist, a fascist, whatever you want to call yourself, you can call yourself that. But whatever you call yourself, remember, take and put it, I am a socialist and I am a cultist. I am a cultist for socialism. I am a cultist for Marxism. That's what you have to remember to say, because that's what you're doing. Those are cults. So we've gone through, 4 or 5 different things talking about cults. There's probably many, many, many more things we could call cults. I won't go into all of them. Anyways, but that's what I want to say a little bit about that. You are in a cult if you want to take and push your ideas on somebody and use force. You're in a cult. Marxism, cult. Environmentalism, cult, because you're using the force of government to make people comply to your garbage science, when actually the environmental movement is nothing more than a way for government to take control completely of economies and the people in those countries. If you're stupid enough to go along with that, then you deserve whatever you're getting. Religion-wise, we've gone through that one. Do not let yourself slide into a belief system that takes and doesn't have any checks and balances within it. Don't let yourself be deceived. Don't let yourself go along with it just because a lot of people believe in it and it sounds good to you, and you want to do something to help and you want to make yourself feel better. Yeah, well, you're the problem. You're not fixing it. You are the problem. So religions, political philosophies, environmentalism, creation versus I just lost my mind on that one. Can't remember the name. Evolution. Jeez. Evolution. Other cults would be probably groups like the Ku Klux Klan. That's a cult. A violent cult. I'm even going to say that the Democrat Party is a cult. They use government to force their belief system, which is enslaving the people because they are the party of slavery, into doing what they want you to do. That's a cult. You can stand up against it, but more importantly, just don't participate. Use your mind, use your brain, use every faculty you have and apply logic and reason to it. And if it doesn't weigh out, don't be a part of it. If logic, reason, research were all applied to these things that we've talked about, we wouldn't have any of these things. Because they're completely illogical. So anyways, folks, use your minds. Stand up to it, fight against it, or don't be a part of it. Just don't go along with it. Number one. Number two, fight against it. Make your voice heard. Speak up, speak out, and speak loud. Make people know that you're there. Don't let people on the other side of logic, reason, dictate your life, because they don't have anything to offer you other than enslavement. Enslavement to any idea is no different than enslavement of your body to somebody making you work for them. It's still just an idea. Fight it. And with that, we're going to call this episode good because I don't really have too much to say about that. Hopefully give you something to think about and like, dislike, whatever. But anyways, maybe you'll learn something. We'll have learned something here. Until then, Talbot, what is this?
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.